Hi, let's inspect the WARBRINGER Totem Aftershock build. The build revolves around re-triggering fissures to deal damage. Molten fissures are ground effects created in this build by Forge Hammer after using a war cry near the hammer, and Volcanic Fissure. These fissures release an aftershock with the damage of the originating skill each time they're slammed. To slam them with the highest frequency, we will use totems alongside our default attacks. Shockwave Totem is the only option for a totem. For the character, it's Volcanic Fissure with Leap Slam, to keep it simple. The war cries that we can activate our hammer with are Ancestral Cry and Infernal Cry. That will cause us to deal mainly fire attack damage. For the Ascendancy pick Warbringer, it has the answered call for +1 max totem with Ancestral Spirits, the wooden wall that redirects 20% of damage to be taken from totems first, and Jade Heritage that reduces physical damage taken. We may even allocate the Anvil's weight, get some armor break, and pick the Molten One's gift, notable to benefit from breaking armor with fire damage. The totem branch is what's most important. Renly's Training and Warcaller's Bellow can be good substitutes, but we can't pick all of them. The build uses Volcanic Fissure and Shockwave Totems for mapping. This will be good enough to slay small foes, but for the big ones, be sure to activate the Forge Hammer with a war cry, or better yet 2 war cries, and place the banner down. Then, continue to smack the ground below you. All this results in a very tanky character that blocks half of the hits, prevents and shifts most of the damage taken, and has lots of life with good life recovery. It also benefits from Ancestral Spirits buffs, all of which are very good, but it can still be overwhelmed in particularly nasty situations. Clear speed is not the highest, but it can be improved with totem placement speed and movement speed. Boss damage is also not that high, and to be satisfied with it, you'll need to allocate the Giant's Blood Keystone. The price is flexible. It requires only basic rare items with decent stats, enough strength, and a good weapon. Uniques are not mandatory at all, but some of the expensive ones, like Astramentis, Chernobog's Pillar, or Svalin, would of course be great. But that's not specific to this build, you will manage without them. It will be difficult to get the required attributes and resistance with more than one unique. Chernobog's Pillar fits here perfectly, but its block chance is low, so you'll need to gather it from the skill tree and jewels, and that's a whole new can of worms. It grants a lot of damage. Titanrot Cataphract has lots of armor and increases your strength by up to 30%, maybe more when corrupted. It can be good if you struggle with the requirement imposed by Giant's Blood. Gearing up is simple. It's mostly life, armor, and strength. Armor should also be employed to affect elemental damage via mods found commonly on rare armor gear. Not much else is needed, not even Spirit is as valuable as in other builds. It will be important to get enough accuracy. Some life recovery may be needed, especially for boss fights. On a helmet, aim for maximum life, resistances, strength, and armor. There is nothing else worth your attention. Mace needs high physical DPS and levels for all melee skills. Two-hander, available with Giant's Blood, yields much better results, but you'll probably need a lot of investment to justify allocating it. Start with a single hand mace and never give up your shield, no matter what. Shield is here for defensive stats, mainly block chance, which remember is now capped at 50%. If you have Renly's Training, you won't need block chance here. Gloves are one of the more important gear pieces. Other than the regular defensive stats, they can roll level of all attack skills, attack speed, added damage, and accuracy. Boots need increased movement speed, around 30%, in addition to maximum life, armor, and all that. Amulets are often prized for spirit, but here we don't really need a lot of it, so shift your focus to level of all melee skills, maximum life, resistances, and attributes. Rings will get you life, resistances, attributes such as strength, and added physical damage to attacks. It's the best opportunity to gather chaos resistance, present as an implicit on amethyst rings. On a belt, you can easily roll strength, armor, maximum life, and resistances. Try to get all that. Body armor is yet another opportunity to get a lot of life, resistances, and preferably armor, with the pound % of armor also applies to elemental damage mod. There's also spirit. On rubies you can find some potent rage generating mods, some basic fire damage, fire penetration and totem mods, be it for damage, survivability or placement speed. Let's start with Forge Hammer. Throw a hammer in the general direction of your foe and use a war cry to create a big volcanic fissure around it. Its fissure is the strongest. We will use it against bosses only since it's clunky. Link it with Fist of War, Elemental Armament, Fire Penetration, Fire Attunement, and Rage Forged. Ancestral Spirits are summoned at random when you place down a totem. They are utility oriented. They deal little to no damage. The skill comes from the Answered Call Ascendancy node. Link them with Mime, Culling Strike, Fire Exposure, Infernal Legion, and either Blind or Brutus's Brain. Shockwave Totem is a slamming totem. Its role is to attack fast. The actual damage of the fissure is not tied to the slam that triggers it, but the slam it is created by. Link it with Urgent Totems, Overabundance, Rapid Attacks, Magnified Area, and either Font of Blood or Torhoa's Tending if your totems are bulky. They will cost a lot, so you may consider efficiency. Infernal Cry grants lots of physical damage as extra fire damage, depending on nearby enemies' power. Use it against bosses or in crowds, where its secondary effect will cause affected foes to explode on death. Link it with Raging Cry, Rage Forged, Magnified Area, Tireless, and either cooldown recovery, or if you have Warcaller's Bellow allocated, which we don't recommend doing, mobility. Ancestral Cry is a war cry that requires 100 glory to use. It makes your character stronger for 8 seconds. It's useful mainly for mapping when it causes your steps to deal fire damage. Volcanic steps count as slams, so they can activate shockwave fissures. Link with Efficiency, Second Wind, Fire Exposure, and either Corrupting Cry if your strength is high, or Prolonged Duration if it's not. Volcanic Fissure creates and reactivates fissures. It's important to make this skill feel comfortable to use when mapping, with means like lowering its cost or increasing its AoE, but this setup leans towards making it a good supplementary skill for boss fights. Link it with Elemental Armament, Rage, Fire Attunement, Rage Forged, and Armor Explosion that works only with Anvil's weight. If you don't have it, use Rapid Attacks or Branching Fissures instead. Leap Slam is used to crash into enemies. With Crater and Holy Descent, you'll start the encounter with the upper hand. Link also with Rapid Attacks and Rage. It is somewhat dangerous to use, so you may omit it altogether. Berserk drains your life but improves the effect of Rage. If you have especially low life recovery, you may not be able to benefit from it. We have linked it with Vitality to balance out that drainage. Encased in Jade, don't activate it, just keep the passive bonus. It reduces physical damage taken. The skill comes from the Jade Heritage Ascendancy passive, best linked with Prolonged Duration. War Banner requires 200 glory to use. It creates an area inside of which you deal more damage, have more attack speed, and more accuracy. Link it with Duresso's Passion, Prolonged Duration, Magnified Area, and Expanse. Scavenged Plating. With Anvil's weight, you'll break a lot of armor. Scavenged Plating will then boost your own armor significantly. If you don't have that passive, or your armor is low, replace it with Time of Need. Link it with Cannibalism and Prolonged Duration for Scavenged Plating, or Compressed Duration for Time of Need. Now the campaign quest rewards. In the Valley of Titans, if you have charms like the Forsaken Bangle or for Utopia, get Charm Duration. If you have Sanguis Heroum or Arakali's Gift, get Charm Charges gained. In the Venom Crypts, just be careful not to pick the Mana Regeneration Vial if you have Blood Magic, which we did. The Stun Threshold Vial is probably the best. In the Halls of the Dead, pick Strength of course. In the Prison, Life Flask Recovery Rate. In the Chima, +5 to all attributes. In the passive skill tree, you will go for melee attack damage, mace damage, fire damage, area of effect, armor, block chance, some attack speed, a wee bit of rage generation, and strength. Remember to allocate the Molten One's Gift Notable. Prism Guard should also be included, it's great. You can create 2 trees with just one weapon now, so we're setting up one of them for totems, and hooking it up to the Shockwave Totem. Here, the most important are nodes for totem placement speed. Ancestral Artifice for +1 max totem should be on in both trees, so get it via Amulet, Anointment, or Megalomaniac Jewel. The second tree is for everything else, and here we've picked Rage and Aftershock and Fissure related nodes instead. The keystones to allocate are Blood Magic, Giant's Blood. This one can wait until you gear yourself up. Avatar of Fire if you have no Leech, and Precise Technique if your accuracy is very low. All are, truthfully, optional. With Chernobog's Pillar, we'll rather want Renly's training with Turtle Charm instead of Jade Heritage and Wooden Wall, but that's us. That's it. That's the build. Thank you for staying till the end. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.